then we'll just kind of mess around and go to different angles and everything. But what's going on, everybody? You already know what it is. Your boy Narcolepsy Boy 94, aka Malik, back here again. Special podcast, no draft today. We did a draft last night. Go check that out with the same squad as usual. This episode, not really an episode, but this I guess you can call it an episode. This new episode, I got my man Lou here, who's been on my channel a couple times. We did a podcast a couple months ago. We did we didn't go live for that. We watched the NXT together. We watched the NXT War Games, but we didn't go live. We were just in the chat, just bullshitting around, just talking. Today we're just gonna be talking some pro wrestling, nothing crazy. Maybe some rebooking stuff, maybe a little bit debates here and there, depending if we have disagreements on some things. In the world of pro wrestling, it's all about entertainment. It's all about entertainment and being invested into what's going on. And there have been many good things that happen, many bad things. That's the pros and cons of wrestling. There are a lot of good things, a lot of bad things that happen too. But let's just start with the streak. So. The Undertaker's streak was, obviously it became very important to WrestleMania every year. That was like one of the high key matches that everybody was looking forward to every year. Mm-hmm. Big part of his legacy too. But obviously the streak ended in WrestleMania 30. Brock ended the streak. The first question I want to ask you is, were you more pissed off that Brock was the one to end the streak, or were you just mad that the streak ended in general? Like, it wouldn't have mattered who beat the streak. Like, you never wanted the streak to end. Because to me, I'm like 50-50 on it. So, like, I don't think Brock needed it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't need the streak, but I understand why maybe in Vince's mind he did it because Brock's very believable. I mean, whether people don't like him, whether people don't like him or not, he's extremely believable. So I get it. And Undertaker, I really he pretty much beat a lot of legends by then. He was getting older too, and so it's like, if not Brock, who's he gonna be? But what upset you more? Was the fact that they gave it to Brock, or were you just mad that the streak ended in general? Like, damn, I can't believe they really broke the streak.
I always knew the streak was gonna end by somebody's hand. I just did not want it to be Brock. So yeah, to answer that, I'm more upset that Brock ended the streak. Because honestly, to go in, I didn't feel like he needed it, but I do understand he was the most legit person to take it at that time. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
can you imagine? But I kind of think about the future and how we all like to say that there's no new stars in WWE. That somebody who's on the rise, who's on legit, like dude, someone who's like legit, that's on the rise, who just needs that little push. Them ending the streak would skyrocket them to the moon at that point. You know what I mean? So I think a younger guy, not like an inexperienced younger guy, but like a younger guy who's on the rise, and could have used that a lot more than Lesnar. You know what I mean? Because I think we probably could have still have.
Who do you? Did you see Undertaker's interview on the Broken Skull Sessions when he was on Stone Cold's podcast?
I saw a clip of it. I didn't watch the whole. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I think I watched the first full one, but I didn't see the second one.
Okay, so on the second one, I can't remember the first second. The second one, he said that he also felt like Brock didn't need to end the streak, and he would have rather have somebody like Roman, like somebody who was younger and getting ready to that would have benefited more from it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I can understand his point too, but I understand Vince's point too. You know what I'm saying? And we've heard many people say that, excuse me, that I guess there were a couple of times that Vince considered somebody in the streak and some wrestlers didn't want to do it, or they talked him out of it or whatever. So he was always for the streak ending at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Taker was never big on the streak either. I don't think he ever cared about losing at some point. You know what I mean? Business is business, so he was going to lose. He was going to lose. But there were also a lot of people who I also seen a lot of people like giving me comments saying like they felt like Shawn Michaels or Triple H should have been the one in the streak.
About that. About that. I kind of got to check myself sometimes because I like to say, "Oh, Brock didn't need it. Brock didn't need it." You know what I mean? But Shawn Michaels didn't need it either. You know what I mean?
Neither Triple H.
Needed a Triple H, exactly. I didn't want Triple H to win either of those.
I didn't want Shawn Michaels to win either. I will say though, I will say,
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I was kind of like, oh, he could be the guy to beat it because that was like Shawn Michaels' second run in the company was like arguably his best run, arguably. And like, I mean, Triple H, he went up against the Undertaker 3 times. I did not want Triple H to get that rub at all.
I didn't
I
want
love
Triple H,
but yeah. But I also got to check. Yeah, but I also got to check the hypocrisy of that because we like to shit on how Brock Lesnar didn't need it, and then come around and be like, oh, fucking Shawn Michaels should have ended it. I'm just like, neither one of those guys needed it. If they want a younger guy to be that guy, why are you talking about Shawn Michaels? You feel me?
I just feel like those guys don't need it because they're legends.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't need the industry because they're already solidified as legends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people were like, to me, whoever ended the streak was gonna get booed. Obviously, I mean, it's Undertaker is probably the most respected wrestler of all time. So whoever ends the streak is gonna have to be heel or it's gonna get booed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people were like, people were like, oh, well, they wouldn't boo Shawn Michaels ever. I'm like, bro, like, y'all remember when he got booed for a couple months when he retired Ric Flair? Like, they were mad, like, when he retired Ric Flair, even though they kind of knew he was going to retire Ric Flair. But, like, I remember, like, I remember him coming out and getting those silent reactions. You know what I mean? Like, people were kind of iffy for him a little bit. The same with, the screw job and everything, too, when the screw Bret Hart, in Montreal. Like, he was getting booed. So even though he was hated for a while. Like Montreal,
yeah. His promo when he went heel that one time against Hogan.
Montreal,
oh Lord. Oh,
that's his best promo he's ever done. That's probably
one of my favorite promos of all time, yo.
Like, but like,
who's your daddy, Montreal?
I just feel like me at that. If you look at that time, I don't know who I would have had to end the streak at the time. I really believe. I mean, the character wasn't around at the time, but the Fiend would have been perfect for the streak. But
during that time,
but he wasn't around. He was his Bray Wyatt, which was super over at that time too. That version of Bray Wyatt was really over. But he wasn't the Fiend. You know what I mean? The Fiend.
If they could have waited one more year, it would have been that. It would have been the time.
You think so? So you think WrestleMania 31?
Yeah. If Brock would have lost WrestleMania 30, and they would have waited one more year, I think 31, at the height of Bray Wyatt's, you know what I'm saying? Let's say if Bray Wyatt beat Cena at 30, you know what I'm saying? Kept his momentum going. If he would have beat Cena in 30, kept that momentum going. It's a WrestleMania 31. Undertaker's back. He's healthy. You know what I'm saying? And the streak ends to Bray Wyatt.
It went crazy.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
See, I can get behind that. Maybe it's just because now the Fiend is around, so like I'm just like, bro, like it's just been perfect for the Fiend, bro.
Oh yeah,
Like that character is so believable. Like I wouldn't have been mad if he ends I wouldn't even be mad upset about it. Like, oh, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I also see a lot of people too. This one always gets me too. That a lot of people have said to me that if Paul Bearer didn't die, CM Punk would have been the one in the streak. I'm like, bro, they were not going to give CM Punk that streak, bro. They didn't even want to give him the main event of WrestleMania. They were not going to give him the streak if they didn't want to give him the main event of WrestleMania. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't going to give it to him regardless. But I
don't see Vince like being the one to be like, you know what, we'll give it to Punk. You know what I mean?
But it definitely would have been in poor taste to give it to him during that time. You feel me?
Right. I think. But I mean, I would have. I mean, it would have benefited Punk in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? I think even though Punk was kind of a legend, he could have used it just because the way they booked him in a lot of ways. But
yeah,
I don't feel like if Paul Bearer passed away, he wouldn't have been in the streak because I just don't feel like they were going to give him that nod because to me, I don't think they really valued him as the star that he was, which was what part of me was always upset because they tell him to do things or tell him to grab that imaginary brass ring and he overachieved everything that they told him to do and it was never good enough. You know what I mean? So it was like, bro, like he knew that he was never going to be like, really the top guy. He was just going to be a guy pretty much. And that's how I felt. I was like, they're not going to give that to Punk. I'm saying they didn't even want to give him the WrestleMania main event that he wanted. That's all he wanted was the WrestleMania main event. You know what I mean? And they didn't want to give that to him. So I just feel like that wouldn't have happened, in my opinion. But when you look at the streak and look back, though, do you think if you were the booker, would you had in the streak, or would you have had Undertaker retire undefeated?
Ah, man. That's a tough one. I would have had that if he would have stayed healthy. You know, 'cause I know the Undertaker's older. You know what I mean? Wrestles once a year, but like if he would have stayed like good for a sec, I think I would have ended it in 31 with my original idea with Bray Wyatt. If Wyatt would have went over Cena that year, but nah, I wouldn't have had him. You know, retire defeated. It's either the last match he loses it, do the honors, or he loses it, have his last match, and you know what I'm saying, and retires like he did with AJ. Either that or the other way around. But yeah, I would have ended the streak.
I would have ended it, but the way I would have done it is it would have had to been his last match. So like whenever Taker felt like, I would have to know beforehand. Like he would have to know too. Like I need to know like, what are you thinking? This is this it for you? Like he would have to know inside himself. That way beforehand, whoever he felt like, because whenever he felt like he would be done, that's when I would make.
He came right back.
That's when I would book him against the person that I feel like would beat him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's hard to say because you never know the years. I mean, so it always changes, and it could change to somebody else, somebody different too.
Yeah. Injuries could happen, all that shit. Or
who's before we change something, who's somebody that Taker didn't face at WrestleMania that you think would have been a great opponent for the streak at the time?
At the time,
yeah, somebody who didn't challenge the streak.
I gotta think about it. Well, Cena definitely, John Cena.
Yeah. Some people
we did that.
Kyron, one who was in our War Games chat, he when we talked about booking, he said he would have booked Cena to beat the streak at WrestleMania 30 and turn John Cena heel, which would have been crazy. That would have been.
He confirmed that he was supposed to turn heel at one point. He even had like gear and music made for that.
Yeah, it was against The Rock for WrestleMania 28. They were going to turn him. They were going to turn him heel for that, and they didn't do it. But when he said that, when I thought about the heel turn, like damn, bro, like if he'd have beat the streak and turned heel, bro, that would have been
nuclear.
That would have been like Hulk Hogan, 1996. You know what I'm saying? Bash to the beach type shit. Like that would have been insane, bro. Like that would have been the most shocking moment ever.
They would have rioted because they hate. I ain't gonna lie. When I mean like they say like John Cena is one of the most polarizing guys. Oh Lord, they hated this motherfucker.
And he ends the streak. That would have been insane, bro. That would have been. I don't know if he rioted. I don't know if he would have been able to come back as a babyface. To be honest, I mean, the fact he ended the streak, that's top notch. That's like real top notch shit, bro. And
he could come back as a babyface. If Brock could have done, if Brock can get cheered even after that, he probably could. On top of that, the hardcore fans have been wanting a change for Cena for years. You know what I mean? They were just like, "Oh, damn, he's bland. He does the same old shit." You know what I mean? This and that, all the typical complaints. Fans do all the time. You know what I mean? They get that heel turn. You know what I mean? Even though he's ends the Undertaker streak, eventually they're gonna warm up to him.
Right? Yeah, that's true too.
Eventually they're gonna warm up to him. Fans sometimes can be fickle as hell. Just be 100% real.
Hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? They're wrestling fans probably the biggest hypocrites of them all, really, to be honest. I mean, they're so in denial, especially in this era. Like they ask for one thing and then weeks later they want something different. It's just like it's insane with wrestling fans. And I feel like the streak though, I don't know. It's hard to say because no wrestling, nobody ever thought the streak was gonna end. I feel like, I mean, because looking at WrestleMania, I don't think anybody ever picked Undertaker to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you may have thoughts in the back of your head, you still gonna pick Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, going into the only time for me, the only time I didn't know what was gonna happen with Undertaker at WrestleMania was the streak versus career. I didn't know who was gonna win that match, to be honest. I had no idea. I wasn't reading dirt sheets, so I didn't know like if Shawn Michaels had came out and said he wanted to retire or anything, so I didn't know it. But I was like highly invested to the build up. The build up was so good, and like the obsession with that Shawn was having, you know what I'm saying? Like with ending the streak and everything. I didn't know who was gonna win. I honestly did not know. I was like, bro, I don't know who's gonna
I agree too. Another one that I thought could have ended the streak before was Orton when he was doing during the legend killer run, because he was, don't get me wrong, he was running through all the legends. He was running
That
through
would
all
have
the
been
legends.
perfect for Orton, yeah. He would have, especially at that time too. He was still young, so that would have benefited him. But to be fair though, the streak was still developing though. I'm saying he was on like 12-0 or something like that, 12-0, 13-0, somewhere around there, I believe. He was still the streak was still developing. You know what I mean? And that was the first time actually that they used the streak a part of a storyline for WrestleMania, because they never really, they started to acknowledge it, but they never used it as like a wrestler was going after the streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was the first time that they used it. And Legend Killer Orton would have been perfect, because at that time he was the Legend Killer, and that would have benefited him huge. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Taker talked about
losing to him, but I think Orton was like he didn't want to. I think it's one of them.
A lot of people didn't want to. I heard that they wanted Cain to beat him at WrestleMania too. But
Cain? Nah. they had like 2 matches. Huh?
The first version of Cain, 98 Cain.
Oh, first version of Cain. Okay.
When they first fought, not the second time, the first time he fought, when he was like extremely like believable, and when he was dominant.
Yeah, that would have happened. We would have no streak then. Like it wouldn't have been.
Yeah, the streak wasn't a thing then. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it wouldn't have been this big deal. So yeah, I disagree with that one.
It's hard to really. I mean, Cain would have been perfect. Like if say like Taker had the streak now and they just did the storyline, like that would have been perfect. Cain would have been like huge for that role. You know what I'm saying? The evil brother takes the streak and everything. That would have been incredible. But the streak really wasn't like a big acknowledgement at that time period. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a real big thing. So it was like, the streak. Cain wouldn't have been right for that at that moment. You know what I mean? Even though he lost, he still looked strong too. I mean, he kicked out 2 tombstones. Somebody did back in the day. So like.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like to throw the word buried and everything a lot, but there's a lot of people that can look strong in defeat. You can always look strong in defeat sometimes. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's move to. Let's talk about. I want to talk about Sting and AEW. So, Sting, a lot of people have their own opinions about it. Some people don't want to see him wrestle. Some people don't want to see him wrestle. In my opinion, I'm just like, bro, like just let Sting do what he wants, bro. If he wants to wrestle, I get he's 61. He had spinal stenosis and everything, so he got pretty fucked up in his last match with Seth Rollins and everything. But I'm like, bro, like I don't. You have to understand, Sting would not get in the ring if he didn't get cleared by some type of doctor or somebody didn't tell him that he could be safe getting in the ring and he wouldn't be in any type of threat, getting paralyzed or anything. Like he's not at his age, he's not gonna take that risk. It's just stupid. But if Sting wants to wrestle, let the man wrestle. He may not be satisfied with the way he retired or his WWE run.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've heard rumors that he won a match with Taker for some reason. The higher powers above didn't see anything in that. Which I don't understand that at all. I'm sorry. I don't understand that at all. That doesn't make any sense. But what are your thoughts on stuff? Are you for it, or do you really want to see it, or do you would you not mind it?
If they can work it in a way where it's safe for him. Yes, I wouldn't mind it. It's just how he's going to be used. That's the one thing I think a lot of fans are concerned of, because they kind of having this whole thing about, oh, you're being hypocrites. Y'all didn't say, doing Goldberg, all this shit. Now look at this thing. I'm just like, we don't know what he's doing yet. Y'all are drawing conclusions and shit. You know what I mean? But it comes down to it, if he's in go in the ring and if it's safe for him to go in the ring, I won't mind it. I just want to see how he's going to be used in that capacity. Is it going to be something like he just shows up and appears, does this thing or once or twice or 3 times a year? You know what I mean? If it's part-timer role, that's fine. If he's helping other guys get over, that's fine. But if y'all can, if the Rock and Roll Express can keep going at this age and y'all are concerned about Sting, I don't know, man.
Did you? Well, they said he signed a multi-year deal, so he's going to be there for a long time. You know what I mean?
He's going to be there for a long time, but it could be as far as coach, because we got Arn Anderson, coach. We got Billy Gunn. He's a coach, but also in-ring player. You know what I mean? He's giving the rub to his sons. You know what I mean? His 2 sons in the ring. You know what I mean? They're learning from him and they're under him. You know what I'm saying? So that works.
Dustin Rhodes too. Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes is there. He's old too. He's in his 50s, but he's there to and everything. The difference is people need to understand. it's amusing to me. It's funny to me that people were trying to compare the Goldberg thing. Like, well, y'all get mad when Goldberg comes back, but y'all like when Sting comes back. There's a difference, bro. It's the way they book things. It's the way they book things. When Goldberg first came back, when he first made his return, everybody was excited for it because we hadn't seen him in 12 years. So everybody was cool. They set up the match with Brock. Oh, dope. I'm saying I want to see this. I'm saying he squashed Brock. They're like, oh shit. I'm saying that was crazy. They put him in the Rumble. That was cool. Oh, cool. Goldberg in the Rumble. That brings more Star Trek to the Rumble. Makes sense. Yeah. And he beats Kevin Owens for the Universal title.
Yeah, that's the downfall.
Squashed Kevin Owens for the time. That hurt Kevin Owens tremendously. To me, he ain't been able to bounce back.
He hasn't been the same since. He's just now getting back into the title picture. Just now. And that happened 3 years ago, I think.
They didn't want 2017, yeah. They wanted Brock to be the champion again, and it should have been Jericho and Owens for the belt at WrestleMania because they had the best. They had the best thing in 2016. Period. Whether it was on Raw or SmackDown.
That time was so good.
They had the best thing going in WWE, and they wanted to. And if you wanted to have Goldberg, obviously, I knew when he squashed Goldberg, when Goldberg squashed Brock, that they were gonna have a match at WrestleMania. Just knew right. It was like, okay, well, Brock's not gonna get squashed like that. They ain't gonna build some type of money off of getting another feud. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that was gonna happen, and I was for it too. Like, okay, I'm for it. I'm not against it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be against it. And then he made it for the belt. I'm like, oh.
We're gonna get Brock with the belt, and he's gonna be gone for a whole year, or at least like 4 or 5 months into the year. You know what I mean?
It doesn't benefit Goldberg by squashing Kevin Owens like that, and then he squashed the Fiend too at that.
Oh God!
At Super Showdown, which was that pissed people off even more.
That legit made me laugh and angry at the same time.
The Fiend was your new hottest dominant character that you have. And first off, to me, they never should have put the belt on him in the first place.
Never should have.
That put their backs in the corner because obviously they have the belt. At some point, you have to lose the belt at some point, and the Fiend should not be losing. So
they fucked up Rollins even before Rollins fucked up himself on Twitter.
Right? They could have had, they could have had the. I take that back. You could have had the Fiend win the belt, but if he was going to lose it, you had to make him lose it when he was wearing that sweater or something. That other Bray Wyatt version, you know what I mean? When he was wearing when he comes out with the sweater and shit like that.
Yeah, but that version of Bray Wyatt. Yeah, that version of Bray Wyatt, yeah, it could have lost. But I just I would have preferred the Fiend losing to somebody but anybody but him. You know what I mean? I would have been okay if the Fiend lost to Roman. I would have been okay with that. Even though most hardcore fans would have been like, oh, no, I would have been okay with that.
That's why they put the belt on Goldberg because they wanted Roman Reigns to be the champion. And they didn't want Roman Reigns to beat the Fiend at WrestleMania and get booed. And if he beats Goldberg at WrestleMania, nobody's going to boo that. Nobody's going to give a fuck.
All the heat got transferred to Goldberg.
So they don't care.
I give him that.
It was smart,
but it should have never put the belt on the Fiend.
They should have never put the belt on the Fiend. And I just feel, I don't know. I just feel like it just reminded me of when they put the belt on Cain. You know what I'm saying? He lost it a day later. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, why'd you put the belt on Cain when he was so, to me, that's how I looked, because St. Cain was so dominant. And I'm like, bro, if you're going to put the belt on Cain, cool. But the next day he lost the belt, which was, back then Stone Cold was so over at the best time, so it was crazy reaction. But it's like, bro, to me, they shouldn't have put the belt on Cain if he wasn't going to get a legit run, because at that time, this is before Cain kind of had the downfall, but this was when Cain was the shit, bro. Cain was legit dominant. He was setting motherfuckers on fire and all types of crazy shit, bro. This dude was insane.
But I don't think it's the same, you know what I mean? Honestly, the Fiend held it longer than that. The thing is just that if they wanted Rollins to be their top baby face, you know what I mean? And then they were going to have that match with no intention of having the Fiend win the belt that night in Hell in a Cell, then they should have never booked the match. Because,
exactly.
It
hurt Rollins too more than anything, because
it hurt Rollins so bad. He got all the heat from that booking that should have been to management went to him.
Exactly. That's how they wanted to. That's how they wanted to. The booking situation is so different. And another thing, let's talk about this too. So we talked about the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley situation, right? When last year around this time, Rhea Ripley was really hot. She won War Games. She won the championship from Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler was, other than Asuka, she's the most dominant NXT female ever. Other than Asuka, she beat Shayna clean in the ring.
Yeah.
She had a lot of momentum going into WrestleMania. Her and Charlotte was huge because that was a match we haven't seen yet. So I was like, I was very into it, and it was a big deal. And I've seen two things. I've seen Triple H say that, obviously it was out of his choice. You know what I'm saying? It's not his choice decision.
Yeah,
he said that one, I guess the pandemic had something to do with it, and two, Rhea Ripley was on I think it was Lillian Garcia's podcast, whatever I think it was, and she said that I guess the original plans were it was supposed to be Rhea versus Charlotte versus Bianca in a triple threat. And
they were thinking about that, but the pandemic happened, I think, and we weren't trying to. I don't know. It wasn't like the pandemic. It was more of management on the main roster, not really wanting to play ball with the NXT management down there.
Exactly.
What I'm hearing. I saw it on Wrestle Talk. That's what they discussed.
And Rhea was supposed to retain. I guess she was supposed to pin Bianca, that way Charlotte doesn't get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's gonna pin Bianca, and they were gonna have their feud in NXT, whatever, which would have been cool. But she said that like she lost her confidence after that match. I'm saying because I guess management was I don't know, making fun of her, not necessarily making fun of her, but kind of just I guess they were kind of just saying what you think was gonna happen type thing. You know what I mean? And that sort of aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more like she got lost in the shuffle because at the same time, Io Shirai was on the rise too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she got lost in the shuffle. She started losing after that. You know what I mean? And she got pinned in the match.
She hasn't been the same since, though. She hasn't been the same.
If it would have been how it should have been, is I think Rhea probably would have saved face if she wasn't the one pinned in that triple threat. If Charlotte was the one pinned, it definitely would have put Io over, and wouldn't relegate her whole NXT run as pointless. You know what I mean? Because I kind of felt it was pointless because she had the belt for a bit and then she just left after she lost it and then put nobody over it. Didn't help nobody.
That's how I feel. It's the same with Charlotte too. That's how I feel about Charlotte. I don't hate her. She's a great wrestler. She's not bad at all. But it's the way they
either. I hate her booking.
The way they book her. Yeah, it's the way they book her. In the ring, she's incredible. She's a great wrestler. She's not bad at all.
Phenomenal. But one of the best in the world.
Booking is terrible. I'm saying they book her, and it doesn't help because her last name is Flair. So obviously that puts
the booker in a way to annoy the fans. Sometimes
it puts a big mark. You know what I'm saying on the stamp, but it's the way and it's really unfair too in a way because people who come from a legacy like that, they come from a legendary father wrestler or female wrestler, they have a legendary family heritage. It's really unfair because they're going to be judged. If they get pushed, you know what I'm saying, they're going to be oh, we're only pushing that person because you know so and so is their dad or whoever. You know what I'm saying is their mom or whatever. You know what I mean? Which is it's unfair to an extent.
Yeah.
But when you overdo it though, it makes you feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But certain guys on the roster who've had that, being third generation, second generation superstars, have been able to shake that, you know what I mean, by just, being dope. Like Randy Orton, you know what I mean? Obviously, son of Bob Orton, but his character was so much different from, you know what I'm saying? It was so much different from what his dad was. He stood out regardless of who his father was. Charlotte Flair, you know what I mean? She's different in ring. She's different in a way, but as far as that Flair swagger, she has her dad down to a T. You know what I mean? Because they kind of draw she comes out with the robe. She treats herself like royalty, obviously. You know what I mean? She's the queen. To be the woman, you got to beat the woman, the woos. You know what I mean? It's just it pretty much puts that target on her. You know what I mean? All the smart fans, and not even just smart fans, the bitter fans that hate her the most are gonna draw those comparisons so much. Be like, you're like your dad. You said this, that. They're gonna say all this bullshit, and it is unfair. You know what I mean? It is unfair. But I think Charlotte, even though she pretty much has her dad's persona almost a little bit, in ring wise, she's stood out different from what her father is.
Yeah,
I think that's what she does a good job in.
That's why I've never been a hater. I'm saying bro, she's it'd be different if they push her and she sucked, but she's really good. She's actually really good, guys. So it's hard to
I'll feel you on that, bro.
Like if she sucked, then it'd be different. But she's great. You know what I'm saying she's really
great.
good. So it's hard to
Like,
get behind that. You know what I mean? And I feel like I don't know. I feel like anytime she wins or like gets a big push, it's always people who are like, you know, oh, we won. Like when she won the Rumble, like, oh, I'm saying, like, why did they let her win the Rumble? I'm like, bro, like, if she won 3 years from now, it's gonna be different. You know what I mean? Like,
3 years from, I mean, if she won the year after, I wouldn't mind. But it's just like at that time, you know what I mean? Everybody was saying, you know, I think, didn't Shayla debut during that time? Or was it after?
yeah, I think she made her debut in the Rumble. I think she did make her debut in the Rumble. Though. She was in it, but I think that might have been her official main roster debut. And she came in and started tossing motherfuckers out left and right. Remember? She came in and started like crazy.
Yeah. Oh, God, going back. Shayna Baszler, how they screwed the pooch on her. It kind of like...
They said that Vince wasn't high on her either, so...
I know, but it's just like, God damn, you weren't high on her to begin with. Why bring her up? And also, why go and book matches that way? Like, the Elimination Chamber. Oh, God, that match was horrible.
Didn't she eliminate?
She eliminated everybody in that freaking match.
She eliminated everybody, and then she goes on to WrestleMania and face Becky, and she loses. She should have beat Becky at the time, to be honest. I think even said Becky won.
Yeah. She should have beat Becky at the time.
I think they even said that Becky wanted to put her up.
Yeah, she wanted to. Match was like, nah.
Going
back to the Rumble, I think if they're gonna push Shayna so strongly at that time, you know what I mean, her going through all her opponents, and like, you know, I think she's like, who she break it? She broke what's her name's arm in her last match, Sarah Logan, and yeah, she broke Sarah Logan's arm. She went over to the Elimination Chamber and took out every single person, you know what I mean, just to come back and have her lose, you know what I mean. If she would have won Rumble, did the shit she did, you know what I mean, and then win Mania, you would have had another star right there.
Yeah, but to be fair though, if Charlotte doesn't win, then we don't get Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. They're gonna do that.
No, we still could have did that. Because you remember during Survivor Series, the one person from NXT that pinned somebody the pin Charlotte in the match was Rhea. She could have still came out. Came out and challenged her.
I think it makes more sense if you have win the Rumble, you could have made her challenger, because Shayna could have won. Like I said, she won the Chamber, so that was another way into WrestleMania because
that's true.
So that's another way in. But they had two potential female stars right there that they ruined. Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley were like, you know, their two next big stars that they had, and they dropped the ball with it. Now they don't feel. Shayna's she's in the team with Nia Jax and everything right now, and Rhea's still in NXT. She hasn't felt the same since. Yeah, they just don't feel they don't feel like big stars like they were like last year. You know what I mean, like even WrestleMania was in April. We're in December right now. Yeah, you know what I mean. WrestleMania time they felt like legit. You know what I mean. Yes. Now we're at the end of the year. We're almost in 2021, and they don't feel legit anymore. You know what I mean? It's sad, bro. It's like, bro, like. WWE lack so much in building stars. When we grew up in our era, that's all they did was build stars. Attitude era, they built stars. Ruthless Aggression era, they built stars. Mm-hmm. Even the PG era a little bit, they built stars in there. They built Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose. I'm saying Bray Wyatt. Those guys, were upcoming. CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? He had in those times.
Now they had to go through a lot of hurdles to get there. You know what I mean? It was more like the fan support was so strong for them, they had no choice. You know what I'm saying? Like Daniel Bryan, for example.
They still have a lot of wrestlers today, though. Like,
but Daniel Bryan was just like, it was so overwhelming, and also CM Punk leaving. Yeah, they had like no choice to give that man that belt that year.
That was the choice. Yeah, but they still have. They still have a lot of wrestlers. Like I remember, when they did the Rusev Day thing, that was extremely over. Like he was getting crazy reactions, and I think Rusev said that when I think he was on Twitch doing it, answering questions, and he said that Vince told him that people were mocking him, like the fans were mocking, the Rusev Day thing. I'm like, I don't understand it. Does he not want any stars anymore? Like, is he refusing to have stars now? Like, that's
they could have made money off of that. They could have made so much money because the Rusev Day calendar sold out like that.
that was extremely huge. And you look at, we talked about Braun Strowman. That was another one that he was like super believable. Could have been easily one of the top guys. I'm trying to think of some other ones too. There's a couple, and especially from this time period. There's been in this era. I mean, there's so many people that could have been pushed that
Oh man,
we love the Cesaro. Oh, God, Cesaro. I mean, Dolph Ziggler. How many times did they put Ziggler when he was believable? You know what I'm saying? When people were behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And they made him lose, and they didn't care about him. The Miz, you know what I'm saying? Even though the Miz got money in the bank right now, but
it took him so long to get back.
Miz had up and downs. Yeah, he won the WWE title 10 years ago, and it's crazy because when he won the title 10 years ago, it didn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you look at it now would be okay. If Miz won it, you want the Miz to be the champion. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay.
I hated that when the Miz won the title, his first feud was Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Come on, man.
Really? And what really upsets me too is that this is another debate too I had with the CM Punk thing when I'm meeting with these people on TikTok and shit who were trying to tell me that Punk would have got the main event eventually or he didn't need the main event. I'm like, bro, they gave the Miz a WrestleMania main event. The Miz, bro, they let him main event WrestleMania against John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk and John Cena had one of the best rivalries of that era.
Yeah,
and CM Punk couldn't get the main event at WrestleMania. They wanted to give it to The Rock. And people were saying too that
I mean, the first. Granted, the once in a lifetime did deserve that main event spot. That once in a lifetime.
That's that one time, because that was a year in the build.
28. It should have been.
I'm talking about 2013. This was obviously that once in a lifetime. That was a year in the build up. So obviously that was going to be the WrestleMania main event. But what I'm saying is that people were saying that John Cena had to get that win back, and you know what I'm saying they didn't want The Rock to bury John Cena, whatever. I'm like, bro, the match was supposed to be once in a lifetime, bro. It was supposed to be one match, bro. That's what they built it up to be, once in a lifetime. That's all they built it up to be, bro.
You lied to me.
If you wanted John Cena to be the champion, okay, he wanted to be champion at WrestleMania, fine. You could have either had the triple threat with Rock, Punk, and Cena in the triple threat, or you could have had CM Punk and John Cena main event WrestleMania. They had that incredible match on Raw. Remember the number one? You see who goes to face?
Yeah.
WrestleMania, which was incredible. That was an incredible match, bro. That could have been WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would have loved it to be a triple threat. It's just the possibility of that. Oh Lord, I'm thinking about it right now. And even you could have had Cena pin The Rock that match. And then
exactly.
and then The Rock will be gone for a while. And we got CM Punk. CM Punk Cena one last time.
You can continue this because Punk never got pinned. I'm saying so you can continue the.
You can do it one more. You can do it one more time in the following pay-per-view. Money.
You could continue the feud with that. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's so many ways to get it. Could have done that, bro. I was really upset when he lost the title to The Rock. Not that I don't like The Rock, but The Rock just didn't need it, bro. He didn't need to be WWE champion. I mean, at this point, he's been.
I did like how he redesigned the title though, but I hated how the title got redesigned after his redesign.
Yeah. His redesign was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
The redesign. I like the old WWE logo, but it's just like what sucks now is just like all the belts look exactly the same.
Oh, it's terrible, bro.
These palette swap belts are horrible.
It was. Besides like the IC title, the US title, those are excluded. We're talking about the big main event titles. The women's title, same. Universal title, same as the WWE title. They need to recreate these titles and make them feel different, like they were what we were saying. The WWE title never looked like the World Heavyweight title. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like you got to make these titles feel a little different and to an extent. It's just, and it really said that what really upset me too is that when they had the pay-per-views, the stages are the same as every pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, unique stages. Yes,
great. The creativity of the stages. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the most exciting things about WrestleMania, to see what the stage gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what the stage looks like.
Yeah.
I want to see how they go.
Yeah, that's how it was. You're giving me depression right now. You're giving me depression right now, thinking about how. I'm even thinking about Rhea Ripley when she was in that stadium. It was just like, oh man, I'm about to perform in all this pandemic. No fans, performance center. Oh man, it hurt my soul. And I was kind of like thinking like, oh man, I can't wait for fans to come back soon. And then off topic, people made the freaking pandemic worse. And then we're not gonna see fans of wrestling for a long time. Well, unless you watch AEW.
Yeah, we're still in this. Hopefully, I mean, they said they could have a vaccine out sometime next year. So hopefully, when the vaccine comes out, people can take it, and we can get back to not wearing masks and to an extent. Because obviously, the vaccine ain't gonna work on everybody. Everybody's body's different. Some people gonna have allergic reactions to it, or some people don't take it at all. But the more people take it, it's gonna help everything get better and progress. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can get, because having fans, especially for wrestling, bro, it hurts, man.
It hurts. It hurts. And also, I want the fans to pop for when Jeff Hardy gets his old theme music back.
No
That's
more
what they're waiting for.
We been need that. Well, they can just bring it back if they want to. I don't see why they can't.
They want to wait, because everybody that tells me, I made a video on this one. Sorry, I made a video on this on TikTok, and everybody's just like, he's gonna wait for the fans to come back because he wants that pop. And I'm just like, yeah, but it's too long, man. I'm impatient like a motherfucker. I love that track so damn much. I bump it to this day. I bump No More Words to this day.
They should have brought it back once the Hardys, went their separate ways. They should have brought it back then. I'm saying it was the perfect time to bring the damn thing back. I'm saying No More Words was a great theme from 08 to 09 in that time period. A great theme. I'm saying that was an incredible theme, and I don't know. They I just feel like they could bring it back if they want.
Yeah.
Instead, they want to wait till fans for what? In my mind, like, we don't know when we're gonna have fans back.
Yeah.
Two, you don't really need fans to bring back a thing, bro. Just bring it back. I'm saying
they get MVP is old music back at one point.
Yeah,
that balling track is fire. I was happy they brought that.
I like the other one better though. I'm coming.
What? I like the balling one better. That beat. It's just the other one. I'm coming. It's more iconic because he used it longer. But I think the other one, the beat was just fire. And the build to it was fire.
I like balling. Balling was cool to me, but I'm coming, man. That hit hard, man. I like that.
Iconic.
I like that one way better. I like too. A lot of people. I like Voices better than Burning My Light too. I think that's better than Burning My Light. A lot of people love Burning My Light better, but to me, I think Voices is better than that thing. I feel the same way Randy Orton feels. I like Thugonomics better than The Time Is Now, which I think a lot of
what? Nah. Thugonomics is fire. I'm not denying that. It's fire.
That's way better than Time Is Now.
It's not way better. Lyrically, it's not.
It's way better than Time Is Now. I was
production wise, nah, it's not way better. It's better, but it's not. I mean, it's better than some people.
I was highly upset when they changed that theme, bro. When they changed that theme, I was so upset, bro. I cannot. I mean, obviously, it grew on me. Time Is Now, it grows on you and everything, but still to this day, bro. That thing, bro.
That beat is fire.
The other time, basically, how much is fire? That thing is that.
It is.
Oh man,
it is, Joe. But it's just like, but Time Is Now has that energy, though. That's the thing. He has that energy.
It has energy too, but Thugonomics, I don't know, bro. A lot of people, I know they love that thing. They should hype that thing.
I'm gonna make a vid on it. I'm gonna make a vid on it later on. I'm gonna make a vid on it. What do y'all think? What do you think is better?
It's gonna get outvoted. I'm telling you, it's gonna get outvoted. I promise you.
All right, we'll see.
It really depends on the eras though, too. Though it depends on the eras that people are from too. So that's gonna have a beneficial thing, I think. Because it benefits. Like I know some people who like Burning My Light better than Voices. I know some people like Voices better than Burning My Light. Some people like CM Punk's Fire Burns better than Cult of Personality. You know what I mean?
Right. So, nah, man, they should never be thinking that, man. Cult of Personality is goated. I don't care.
But the Fire Burns was good though. Cult of Personality is better.
Good,
Fire Burns
it's good, but Cult of Personality, like, come on, it's Living Color, bro. It's Living Color.
Cult of Personality was better. It was better, but Fire Burns was slap though. That was a great thing. That was a great thing.
Kind of odd that Orton used it first.
Yeah, he used it at one time.
Some people don't realize that.
It didn't work. It didn't work at all.
It did not match.
It didn't fit him. Yeah, it didn't fit Orton's persona. It didn't really fit. It's his character. Some people like, do what's name is better to you, My Time Triple H or the Game Triple H?
I'm gonna give it to the Game.
The Game. That's how I feel too.
I'm gonna give it to the Game, man.
My Time's great though.
That damn Motorhead, that damn oh Lord, that guitar riff is just so damn iconic. Whew. There was actually a hybrid between. There was like a hybrid between those two tracks. I think Triple H used it once, and only once. It was like it had the My Time instrumental, but had the Game's lyrics.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a vid on that. On theme songs that slap on TikTok. I'm gonna make a vid on it. But yeah, dude. Right, I think I'm gonna make that after I make the Edge one. But yeah, dude, it was like a hybrid between the two. It was really dope. It had the guitar, it had the bass, it had the same beat and everything. You know what I mean? It was dope. But also, like, I gotta ask you a question though. Like, this is off like not wrestling theme related, but AEW related. How do you feel about their women's division, and how do you think they can do better with it? What do you think they can do to make it better?
Well, it sucks. Obviously, that's the one thing that hurts AEW is that they lack a women's division. And that's the one thing I can say about NXT. NXT's got a way better women's division than
it's the best women's division in the world. Period.
Their women's division is legit, and AEW they have some great women's talent down there too, man. And they've collabed with NWA and brought Thunder Rosa, and you know what I'm saying? They Thunder Rosa and stuff like that. So they have great talent down there, Nyla Rose, and but they have to give them more TV time and put them in better storylines. That's what you have to do. You have to make them feel important. They're not giving them the time they deserve. They're not building anything around them. They're not doing anything with the women's division. So nobody really cares about it because they don't feel important as they should. You know what I mean? They're building. I mean, AEW has good storylines. And they have storylines. You know what I'm saying? They have
except for Britt Baker and Big Swole. That was entertaining. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that feud.
Unfortunately for AEW, Britt Baker, she keeps getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the downfalls for her because I think she'd be one of their big stars too if she wasn't like a little injury prone. But
she's like the most consistent as far as like a character, the most consistently entertaining character that they have. Yeah,
I think especially in the women's division too. I agree. And that belt too. They changed that belt. Oh, that belt.
It's too small. It's too small.
Yeah. And it's obviously they wanted to give an old school vibe because it's like a very like 1950s, you know what I'm saying, type of belt. But they had to change it too. Just give them more. You have to give them more time. You have to put them in better stories. You have to get them invested into stuff. They're not really doing things that people can highly be invested in. Why should we care about the women's division if you're not gonna put the effort to put into it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the stuff they're doing with because they just brought in Jade Cargill. She's bad as fuck. I'm sorry, I love her, bro. She dope. The only thing it sucks is that we don't know who she is, and they're not giving her much backstory to work off of. Literally, all she's done besides interrupt Cody Rhodes is jump people behind, like backstage with Nyla Rose. And I was like, why is Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero teaming with her? What's the relationship there? They didn't really give us a backstory. She was just there. You know what I mean? And when when it was so weird, that I found so weird, when the first time when she jumped Brandy Rhodes and messed her arm up in the chair, when Big Swole and I think Serena Deeb or Red Velvet shows up, they just stare her down. They're not even fighting. You just saw this person break your friend's arm or hurt your friend's arm. The first thing you walk up to them and just stare at them? No, swing.
They have another new talent too in the women's division. That psycho looking girl. I can't remember her name.
Oh, Abaddon.
Yeah, she looks legit, bro. So I'm like, okay,
that looks creepy. I like without mask or prosthetics or anything, dude. She legit her makeup legit looks freaking creepy. I like it.
She got the different icons. She come out with the blood in her mouth and shit. So that's she got potential. Looks like too, especially with character wise. You know what I'm saying, so she can gravitate. They can gravitate towards that, but they have to gotta do stuff with her. And I don't want to see her don't put her in the Dark Order or something like that. You know what I'm saying, let her do her
own. For God's sake, no, don't put her in the Dark Order. They already have a woman already. But the Dark
Order is
kind of The Dark Order, they're entertaining now, but the one thing that's like kind of concerning me, but since Brody Lee's out injured, they're kind of moving in towards a comedy act than a serious threat now.
Did you see? Did you see the little shot they or the shot they were doing at WCW when they were in the ring with Dustin and they asked him to be number 7?
Oh yeah, I got it. I got that. He used to be 7.
He was 7. He was 7 in WCW for a day. They asked him to be number 7. I was like, that's
the disrespect.
Petty. That's petty.
Like, oh Lord!
I don't know if anybody else.
So bad.
I don't know if anybody else picked it up. I don't know if you guys in chat picked it up either. If you watched
I picked it up. I picked it up after. You know what I mean? At first, I'm just like, oh, number 7, and then I literally went to sleep. I woke up. I started thinking about that show. I was like, wait, 7? Oh my God.
It's so bad, bro. It's so terrible.
It
was so terrible. How do you feel about let me ask you this. How you feel about the Shaquille O'Neal thing? What do you think about that?
Shaquille O'Neal. It's interesting. It's interesting. You know what I mean?
I've always said
this is the thing how I feel about celebrities now. Watching Pat McAfee go in and just kill it, it's kind of like changed my perspective of how I feel about him and Stephen Amell changed my perspective of how I feel about celebrity guests. You know what I mean?
Floyd Mayweather too. He was pretty good too.
I Floyd Mayweather, yeah, he's pretty good, but not really. You know what I mean? It was kind of like it was entertaining. Don't get me wrong, it was entertaining. But I'm talking about like as far as like in-ring technical, you know, or not even just technical, in-ring work and all that shit, and actually performing in the ring to the best of their abilities. I think the guys that, you know, Stephen Amell, obviously, and Pat McAfee kind of like switched my whole perspective of just like, maybe bringing in a celebrity can actually change it up. Because it's Shaquille O'Neal. He's a gigantic dude. You know what I mean? He's a big, strong dude. It can actually work. People actually was believing him in the Big Show having a match. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
I wanted to see it. I was totally
see it too.
I wanted to see it. I've always said that Shaq would be a great celebrity addition to pro wrestling because he's a fan and he's a huge star. I'm saying so. I'm like, bro, like, how can you not want to see what he's gonna do? I'm saying, like, how can you not? I obviously I feel like they're gonna do a match with him and Cody at this point. I don't know when, but if they do that, something like that, I want to see it. I'm saying, like, bro, I want to see what they do with this. I've never seen Shaq in the ring. I want to see what is he gonna do. I'm saying, can he work? Can he do things? Do you think bumps? I'm saying, like, what? Yeah. What's gonna look like if Shaq gets in the ring? I feel about.
I don't know. I hear. I'm trying to remember which year it was. I think it was supposed to be 31. Not 31, like 32. That they were supposed to have, like Big Show and Shaq were supposed to have a match or some shit.
33.
33. Yeah, 33. They're supposed to have a match and some shit. I guess like not Big Show. Shaq, couldn't get healthy in time or in shape in time or something. Something happened on Shaq's end because Big Show was looking. I think at that time, Big Show was looking at like he was looking at the best physically at the time. I think he was like physically in shape. Like Big Show turned into the Big Swole. No pun intended. You know what I mean? He was looking good. I think it was like in the best shape of his life there at that time.
I don't know the entire full details behind that, for sure, like 100%. But I knew that 33 was supposed to be because 32 he did the Battle Royal, and 33.
No, I thought it was 31. He did the Battle Royal. No, wait, you're right. It was 32. You're right. It was 32. 31 was in Texas. That's when he came through.
Yeah, and I feel like I would have been into it. I think it would have been great. To me personally, another celebrity I think would be great in pro wrestling in WWE or wherever, bro. I truly believe this is. I don't know. When I think about it and I think about him, I'm like, bro, I think he'd be so good because he's so entertaining. He's so believable. Is Conor McGregor?
Yes.
I would pay a lot of money to watch him on the WWE.
It's risky though. He's probably gonna cuss his ass off on live television. Comes out like, shut your fucking mouth.
That'd be great. Let him do it, and that's not like people ain't gonna like it.
You're not gonna let him do it.
I'm like, oh shit, that'd be great. Obviously, he can't say the F word, but like he can. Yeah. If you let him go out there and do his stuff, I'm saying he can still go out there and cuss, say certain things. But
nah, they're not gonna let him go out there and cuss, bro. because they're still having bad flashbacks of when the freaking Ball family came out. LeVar Ball, remember them?
Right. But he said the N word. He can go out there and say like bitch, and you know what I'm saying, like, you know, he needs to say shit. They let Brock say shit and stuff all the time. So it's like
LaMelo said, beat that nigga ass. Well, you know what I mean? It's just like when they go up against like celebrities they can't really control. You know what I mean? Because when they brought Snoop in that one time, Snoop let Kevin Dunn have it because Snoop don't play that shit.
Right.
Kevin Dunn got upset that Snoop was late for something, and Snoop was like, "Shut the fuck up! I got this, cuz."
Yeah. I feel like McGregor would be great, bro. You have to obviously
who would you put him with though?
John Cena.
John Cena
and Conor McGregor. That would be or Brock Lesnar.
No, Brock Lesnar wouldn't work with him.
That would be great.
I don't know. I don't think Brock Lesnar would work with him. Especially after what he said. Especially what he said when Sam Roberts gave me that interview. He was just like, McGregor, it takes shit's bigger than this kid, man. Because like
wrestling is a business, bro. For that money, bro, definitely for that money, bro, gonna get paid a ridiculous amount of money doing that match with McGregor.
Probably, yeah.
They both gonna get paid. It's gonna be a huge draw because they both got UFC backgrounds. They're both legit fighters. They're both legit badasses. It's just a matter of who goes over. That's just a matter of who wins. That's all you have to really be concerned about. But for money wise, yeah, Brock Lesnar's gonna do it because he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid a shit amount of money.
I don't know. I think Lesnar's gonna Lesnar that shit, and then Lesnar's gonna go over like
he may
in a shit match. In my opinion.
He may, but the match doesn't have to be. It's more of an attraction, though. It doesn't have to be a show. It
has to be good. No. If they're gonna do something like that, a special attraction show, it has to be good. If they just do it as a special attraction show, and then the special attraction doesn't live up to that expectation, that's gonna fucking cost it. You know what I mean? It's gonna leave a sour taste. Remember Cain Velazquez and Brock Lesnar? How shitty that match was.
Right, but the reason that was so bad is because they never should have did it because Cain Velazquez was hurt. He had to have knee surgery, and they were trying to push it. They were trying to push it for that Saudi Arabia show, which they shouldn't have had him in the ring in the first place because he already said that he had to have his knee operated on. If they would have waited and then brought him in, it could have been different because he can actually work. Because I've seen his
I've seen him work. Yeah, I've seen him work. He did work in AAA. It was pretty good. My thing is just like the
thing with the Lesnar and McGregor, like it doesn't have to be because the Mayweather and Big Show match wasn't a show stealer match, but it was entertaining. It was supposed to be that way because Mayweather's not a wrestler, so he's not going to get in there and do crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to have some feel to it, and that's how the McGregor and Lesnar thing can be. You can have McGregor taking a couple suplexes, take a couple suplexes here and there, blah blah blah. They can have their little standoff jabs or whatever you want to do and saying, but it's just a matter of who would win. And I don't think at this point, honestly, I don't think, I feel like Brock would do whatever they want him to do as long as they pay him. I mean, I've seen him lose to people half his size that he probably shouldn't have lost to. I remember, I didn't think
Vince bends over backwards for Brock though. That's the thing, you know what I mean? Brock
I remember too though, like he lost to Rollins twice in 1 year, which I didn't think, I didn't think Rollins was gonna win at WrestleMania, to be honest. Because I was like going into that WrestleMania.
I knew it was gonna lose. It had to be. It would have been it would have been right. I think
it would have been right, but the way I was looking at it, it was like he had to win and Becky had to win too. Because those were the two most over things that had to happen. I was like, how are they gonna do three baby faces winning at one WrestleMania? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was scared for Kofi that year.
Because I knew we obviously knew Becky was going to win. She had to win because she
had to win.
Kofi had to win too because he was getting over too. So Rollins was the out man out to me.
All three of them had to win. Like in my opinion, it's just.
But if Rollins lost though, it wouldn't have been as bad as the other two lost. You know what I mean? Like, people would have been upset, but it wouldn't have been like if Kofi lost or Becky lost. You know what I'm saying? Like you would got.
The black community still ain't forgive Vince what he did to Kofi. That whole we still mad about that.
I think too, going back to the McGregor thing, I think him and John Cena would be box office too because number one, the attraction for that would be crazy because John Cena is one of WWE's biggest stars. Conor McGregor is one of UFC's biggest stars.
Mm-hmm.
The promo battles would be crazy between the two because you can't because John Cena don't get off scripts anymore. They pretty much give him time. They just give him a time period.
I think they've been giving John Cena like he can say whatever he wants for like the longest. It's just the amount of it. Just depends who who management trusts the most because they can trust the Miz, they can trust John Cena. Who else can they trust? I don't know.
Paul
Heyman. Yeah, Paul Heyman. Yeah.
You trust him. There's a lot of people you can go out there, but like with those two, like the promo battles would be insane. And to think about it, the way you can build it up, you can get Dana White involved, Vince involved. You could do like a big press conference because that would get like a big press conference, like a legit press conference type thing, where like with both sides of the parties, like WWE versus UFC, ESPN broadcasting and Sports Center is involved. Like it's gonna do huge money numbers. You know what I'm saying, and the fact is, when you look at the situation, they're complete opposite. So it makes you wonder, like, you can build it off of is that, Cena's the better wrestler, but Conor McGregor is the better fighter. You know what I'm saying? So, like, obviously McGregor is not going to out-wrestle Cena, but Cena's not going to be able to out-fight Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's going to happen, in the match? I think it would be, for WrestleMania, that would be insane, bro. That shit would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, you got me there. I agree on that. Yeah.
And they're both going to leave at the WrestleMania, so, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, they're gonna stick around. It's just for that attraction. Plus, it could bring a lot of attraction because if Shaq is gonna do AEW stuff, you know what I'm saying, you bring McGregor, which will be huge. You know what I'm saying, it's a matter of
as long as it doesn't end up like Strowman and Tyson Fury. I hated that match. Oh Lord,
no, and that was terrible. And you gotta think about it too. If you really think about it, the Cena and McGregor thing, it's kind of unpredictable in a way too because John Cena is one of their big company guys too. He gets his way too a lot. So it's like if he goes to Vince, he's like, I'm the WWE guy. Should I really lose to Conor McGregor? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that going to affect me? You know what I'm saying? Because John Cena ain't Big Show. So John Cena ain't going, John Cena's not Big Show. You don't have that stroke.
Not as expendable, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but McGregor is the guest, though. I'm saying that when do they ever have really guests come in and lose? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if he comes in.
I've only seen one company. Oh, AEW did that once with Christopher Daniels and Stephen Amell. Christopher Daniels beat him that time.
Right,
which was the right thing to do.
Yeah. But you gotta look at the WWE, like when they brought in Lawrence Taylor, he beat Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania. They knocked out Big Show at WrestleMania, and Big Show was a giant, bro. I couldn't believe that.
But he had nuts though.
He did. He did.
He did have draft nuts though.
When you look at legit round, like he could have crushed him. He's 7 foot, like he's half his size, bro. He lift weights more bigger than him at this point, bro. Like I'm saying, like he could have crushed him. Tyson Fury, you know what I'm saying, he beat, even though it was count out and shit, but he beat the Braun Strowman, you know what I'm saying. So it's like they always have because you want to make. I guess they do it because you want to make the guests happy. You know what I'm saying, because some of the guests maybe they don't understand wrestling business wise, or they just don't want to lose or whatever. I don't know, but I think the John Cena and McGregor thing would be huge. I think it would be people would have to look past it as a celebrity thing. I'm saying like you have to look past it and think about business wise and what they're trying to do. I'm saying it would be an attraction for WrestleMania, especially if you had Rock and Roman as the main event. That would be huge. And then you had Strowman, and then you had not Strowman, but McGregor and John Cena on the same card. That's your true attraction matches right there.
Yeah, I feel you. Going for what you were saying, if let's say for next year's WrestleMania, let's say if they can't get The Rock for some reason, say for scheduling issues or stuff like that, like usual shit. Let's say if they can't get The Rock for the main event,
if they can't get The Rock, it's gonna be Goldberg. It's gonna be Goldberg, bro. There's no other
Goldberg. You think it is? What do you? That's what you think is gonna happen, or is that what something you want to happen?
No, it's gonna happen. Well, that match is gonna happen regardless at some point because they're still teasing it and everything. And Goldberg wants it. He said because I don't know if you know this, but Goldberg did an interview today, and he's under contract until 2023.
Yeah, I saw that one.
He'll be 57 by the time his contract ends, and I think that I'm not against their match happening because I was going to go to WrestleMania this year and I was kind of looking forward to that match to be honest because they're kind of similar in a lot of ways. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? This match could probably work for Goldberg. You know what I'm saying? Because the last couple matches they kept putting him in there were like old guys. Taker, saying like that was terrible. Why would you put him in there with Taker at this?
Taker was the oldest guy he's been in the ring with. It was just,
But they're not putting him in there with the right people, like the Fiend. That was to me that was
bad.
That wasn't right because that wasn't right. They put him in with Gold Taker, and then before that they put him in with Ziggler. Like nobody cares about Dolph Ziggler.
They needed no. Goldberg needed that to wash the stink of the Saudi match he had with the Undertaker. He needed that.
He needed that, but nobody cared about it. I'm saying it wasn't a match that anybody cared.
People pop huge for that. It was what they were expecting. It was what they was expecting, but they needed that to just help us forget because like they wanted us to forget, dude. I don't want Goldberg's last match to be that against the Undertaker. You know what I mean? That's the
same reason Undertaker came back too for
that.
Yeah,
exactly.
The same reason. I get that. I would say this. I didn't care about it. I didn't care because I knew what was going to happen, so I didn't care for the match at all. I knew he was going to squash Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler was going to sell like crazy, and Goldberg was going to look great for his age. But
loved it.
The him and Roman match, I'm for it. I'm not against it, but I wouldn't book that for WrestleMania for me. But when you look at it though, I mean, it's hard to say who you book him against because there's nobody believable on SmackDown to beat him. To me at this point,
not right now.
Kevin Owens ain't
right. They got to keep Rollins away because they're both heels.
I mean, honestly, the only other person I could say would be Daniel Bryan. I mean, I would do that match at WrestleMania, but Daniel Bryan doesn't have the steam that he had at one point. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have that steam that he once had. There've been rumors. He's been
putting a lot of people over. You know what I mean?
Some people want Big E, but Big E as of now, I don't know what the future will look like for him a couple months from now. But as of right now,
I like Big E, but the thing is that's like he hasn't had that.
He just
had a lot of steam as a singles guy right now because they're keeping him off TV, or when they have him in TV, he's just backstage. He's not really doing anything.
I've heard they've also said that Drew McIntyre could be his opponent too. So I guess it may be a title thing, which I don't want to see unified titles anymore.
No,
to me, both guys, not even that, but both guys are extremely over right now, and going into that match, I just don't know if Drew McIntyre can afford to lose a match like that. You know what I mean? So to me, I guess if I had to choose, I guess Goldberg would be the option. I mean, I guess Goldberg looking at it because, well, obviously I want The Rock to be the option. I think The Rock would be the best option, especially with the story, with the head of the table and the tribal chief stuff. You know what they're doing, which is great. It leads into the family storyline that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it can't be,
it'll make sense. The family thing.
Yeah, I would be cool with Daniel Bryan and Roman at WrestleMania. I'd be down for that. But if it's not The Rock, though, it's gonna be Goldberg. Though I don't see them booking anybody else for that spot. It's just hard for me. I mean, especially when you look at the SmackDown. Like I think Seth is supposed to take some time off too because him and Becky.
He's already taking time off right now for Becky.
Yeah.
And also he's a heel. And Roman's a heel. We can't have heel versus heel at Mania. I don't think it would work. But what I mean. The only lot is Daniel Bryan or Big E if they don't do Goldberg or The Rock, but most likely they're gonna do Goldberg. I agree with you. But I would like to.
Another thing I'm thinking is maybe they could do Roman, Kevin Owens, and Daniel Bryan triple threat. I'm saying I'll be down for that.
I think it would be for good for a pay-per-view match.
So because you got to be
good for a pay-per-view match, but not for Mania. I'm not feeling it for Mania yet. Because none of them feel like a legit threat to. None of them feel like a legit threat to Roman right now. Neither of them. You know what I mean? Because Daniel Bryan just lost to Jey Uso. You know what I mean? Not to shit on Jey Uso. Jey Uso been doing a phenomenal job. It's just that as far as caliber, Jey Uso was getting whooped on by Roman twice, and it's in its dominant fashion. You know what I mean? And he goes in and he beats Daniel Bryan clean. Daniel Bryan got his win back, but he rolled up. He won him in a roll up. You know what I mean? That kind of, it got him his win back, but it didn't hurt Jay because he could have won at either point of the match. You know what I'm saying? Just to have him just come out and just challenge Roman then, you know what I mean? Daniel Bryan has the legit skills, but it's just the momentum is kind of it's weaned a little bit because of the losses.
You know what this reminds me of? Thinking about Roman, how dominant Roman is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody believable enough on SmackDown to beat Roman, and that's exactly how I feel about Karrion Kross in NXT, bro. Like when he gets the belt back, who's gonna beat him? Who's believable to beat this guy in NXT?
Shit, I don't
There's
think
nobody. There's nobody believable.
Yeah.
Not even to me. Not even Demon version of Finn Balor. I don't even feel like Demon version of Finn Balor could even beat him at this point.
I don't know.
Well, I don't think he would.
I don't think he's gonna bring the Demon back. I don't think he needs to bring the Demon back.
But I think one guy that could possibly, if they build him up right, because I'm actually a huge fan of this guy. He's actually winning me over as Dexter Loomis.
Oh yeah,
Dexter Loomis. If they build him up right, maybe he could be the guy. But they have to build him up, strong, and because he don't even talk. This guy don't even cut promos.
Yeah, he's been built pretty strong. Imagine the mind game, because both of those guys are like to play mind games. Them putting mind games and shit together, they's like who can out mind game the other guy. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that.
Priest too. Maybe Damian Priest if they build him up right too. I like Priest though. I think he's pretty
Damian Priest, yeah, but they need to build him up again because he's taking losses. You know what I mean? But also, he just got into it with them, so it looks like they're going to be building to like a regular NXT match between the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, but also even Kyle O'Reilly or any of the Undisputed Era guys, as far as like an underdog, not like a squash match, but like not necessarily win, but like the underdog type of match where the guy looks, both guys look good. Even the babyface, even though he's in the odds, he still looks good in defeat. I kind of see that with him.
Yeah, we talked about it on the stream that NXT they're kind of at a default right now with our star power because last year on this time they had a stacked roster last year on this time, and obviously some of them went to the main roster, some of them aren't there maybe because of pandemic or anything, but I don't know. I feel like they need to go out and seek more talent, man. They gotta bring some other people in, especially for this guy because this guy Cross is legit, bro. I gotta say this, whoever came up with that entrance for him, it's one of the best entrances I've ever seen in my life. I don't know who came up with that. I don't know if it was Triple H or if whoever it was, but that, bro, when I first seen that entrance, I was like, bro,
lot of smoke.
If that was at a takeover, the whole fucking place would be fucking insane right now. I was at a takeover, and that was the first time you saw that entrance. People would have been like, what is this? I'm saying, like, that whole entrance to me sold me on him, bro. I was like, okay, yeah, this guy is about to dominate people, and he's about to destroy everybody in his path because you don't come out with entrance like that. You don't get entrance like that unless they're gonna push you extremely hard. So, hopefully, big things for him too. I definitely see him getting the belt back. Maybe not the next NXT takeover. They may, because people who get injured and come back, they don't ever really push them, put the belt on them exactly. So he's probably gonna feud with Damian Priest. It looks like for a little bit, which I'm okay with. And then eventually he'll get to Balor, probably around WrestleMania time, and get back to Balor, I'm assuming, and get the belt back. And then
or maybe New Year's Evil. I don't know. They're doing something for New Year's Evil. I think a little after New Year's. I think, but they're doing something then. But
yeah, Balor already said he's going to defend his belt that day too, so he's going to have a title defense. So maybe I don't see Cross fighting him that day though. Maybe it's going to be like Pete Dunne or maybe Kyle O'Reilly again. Maybe triple threat, maybe Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know. But I just don't. Yeah, I'd be down for that too. Then that'd be a great match. That'd be a fantastic match. But I don't see I don't see Cross at this moment either. I wish they pushed Ciampa more a little bit too, man. Ciampa's kind of falling off a little bit too, man. He's ever since he came back from that injury.
Yeah, he's kind of he's like in a weird place. I don't know where he's dope, but it's just like, is he face? Is he heel? What's his direction? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is happening.
I'm not sure what his direction is right now. He's kind of like the tough guy that's like, I think right now he's just being like the tough guy that's back there that's trying to whip the rest of the locker room into shape. But I think he's like something to go after. You know what I mean? But I don't think. But the thing with him and Timothy Thatcher isn't over yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had a great match too, dude. That was a very physical,
great match.
But they could put one of they just put Ciampa with Dexter Loomis. That would be great. That'd be a great little feud right there. That could be a great little help Dexter get elevated up too. I'm saying he's fighting a main event guy who's been champion before and everything. That could help, put him over. Ciampa and Damian Priest. I'm saying they haven't done that feud either. That could be
I would like that, but after, let's say, give Dexter Loomis a different feud before he gets to Ciampa, and then and if he beats Ciampa, then get him to cross.
So who'd you put him with? Who'd you put Loomis with right now?
Right now, that's hard.
Honestly, you know who they could put him in. I mean, it would be a lot of controversy, but Velveteen Dream. I mean, that would be a good feat for him. And
no, wait, they were supposed to have something. Yeah, they had those. I think they were going to be a tag team before Dream got into that accident.
Yeah, that accident, that situation that he got involved in.
Dream got into that car accident, he was supposed to, be a tag team with them because they were teasing it several times. But yeah, I think that could possibly that could work. That can work.
Yeah, I think it could be,
or keep him in the North, or add somebody to the North American Championship picture, like having go against Gargano.
Yeah, that could be good too. Help build up slowly. I'm saying help him build up, slowly and help elevate him. I think him and Gargano could be, because he could play, he could play extreme mind games with Gargano too. I mean, so
yeah.
I think it could be pretty. I think they need to let Gargano have a little title run though, because all his title runs haven't been too long. You know what I mean?
So I think like a one defense. I hate that. I hated that.
Yeah, so I think I think a reason for that too though is that he was always. I think they always looked at it. He was always better chasing the belt than with the belt, and because he was like, I don't like heel version of Gargano personally. I think he's a way better babyface.
Oh hell yeah!
Because the babyface run was so believable, and it was just like every time he lost, you kind of like for him. Like watching NXT, the three people like you, I think always had some sympathy behind were Sami Zayn, Bayley, and Johnny Gargano. Like anytime they lost, you kind of just felt you just felt for them. You know what I mean? Kind of like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just had that believable sadness.
They can get sympathy the best.
Yeah,
like the guys who get that sympathy the best at that time. Gargano, Zayn, and Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, and Kofi when he was chasing.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, dude, Elimination Chamber. I felt that when the New Day came in the
ring. They swerved us on that one. They definitely swerved us on that one. That was a good little, that was actually a very good ending too. And heel Daniel Bryan too was fantastic at that time too. So
wish you would have had that a little bit longer.
Yeah. I wish you would have too. But when you look at it with him and Kofi, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Kofi had to win. So it only benefited at that point. But we'll go ahead and sign off here. Good chatting wrestling, man. It was just chatting, bullshitting. I want to do one next week too. So what we're gonna do is, since we were talking about WrestleMania, why don't you make your fantasy WrestleMania card for next year? So how would you book WrestleMania? I'll make a card, you make a card, and then we'll come on here and then we'll discuss it with people and we'll talk about the differences and everything. And it's just imagine. So say WrestleMania can have fans next year. WrestleMania has fans next year.
Yeah,
we have a sold out stadium. Book WrestleMania, I guess, with 10 matches out of WrestleMania on the main card. So,
you get 10 matches.
About 10 matches they do now. So let's just book 10 matches on WrestleMania next year. So how we would book WrestleMania, and we can explain like how we do this, or because WrestleMania always has attraction matches. They have show stealer matches, and they have people you just fit on the card. You know what I'm saying, just to make sure they make the card. So
yeah.
You do a card, I'll do a card, and we'll sometime next week. I'll get with you and see whenever you're free, and we'll come on here and discuss it and see how different ideas and different opinions. You know what I'm saying? Because there are different ways they can. There's not really any certain thing for WrestleMania next year besides maybe Roman and Rock, but that's not even for sure either. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But if we could book it, let's fantasy book that shit.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Yeah, so I think I'm definitely down to do that.
So let you go ahead and plug in your stuff real quick before we sign off here to tell everybody where they can follow your stuff. And
all right, y'all. Hey, Lou Nonsense. Lou_Nonsense. You can always follow me on TikTok. I do wrestling TikToks, talk about video games, comedy, all time. Trying to be as versatile as possibly I can. Also Instagram, Lou_Nonsense. Facebook, if you still have a Facebook, fan page is there too, and follow YouTube as well, Lou Nonsense.
Make sure you guys go check his stuff out. We always, as on my channel, we always got the draft plans. The draft is planned for next Thursday with my peoples. And then me and him, we're gonna come on here with our WrestleMania fantasy bookings for which could possibly be our WrestleMania cards for next year. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Appreciate the support from everybody too. I know some people in the comments here from my TikTok who have come to my YouTube too. So appreciate the support. Make sure you guys go check this stuff out, and we'll see you next time.